I'm here on the steps of Parliament House where people have gathered to rally against the federal government's human rights violations of Aboriginals in Western Australia. The government has now bulldozed 3 Aboriginal communities and is withdrawing funding from another 180. This in turn will force assimilation, displacement and homelessness on Australia's Indigenous.
What has happened here is that the corporations have used native title and used it against us to claim the land on our behalf and sell it off to mining companies for their own family-based organisations. I found it inhumane that I would have to join. I made it my business to join all Aboriginal organisations in order for me to see how political they were and how very racist they have become towards us. They've also joined up with a mining company called Kingfisher, which owns the tenements of Western Australia, and that is what native title is all about. Which corporation has authority over the people within its designated area to deal with mining companies, to collect royalties, and to make laws concerning us who are non-members, where we are then put into a predicament of no return.
Speakers at the rally were angry at the peaking numbers of suicide in communities, deaths in custody and homelessness. With Barnett's plan to break up 180 more communities, it is believed that these figures will only continue to rise.
As I said, this year 180 communities will be closed, and that's in writing what this man said. By closing 180 communities, just imagine how many people are going to be in the city and how much homelessness is going to be building. It's going to be built by Indigenous people. And then you've got men and women who are coming out of prisons who's going to be living on the cities. So what have we got to do, us Indigenous people? We have no rights in this country, and yet we are the first people. So Barnett want to grab a brain and start thinking how he's going to help people, because one day it's going to come back and bite him. It won't be me, but I'll send the word out to all country towns and wherever I can send my message to. We must make a stand, and a stand has got to be now. If not, there will be no resistance of any Aboriginal culture, of any Aboriginal people living on this continent, because you're here to wipe us out.
There are going to be fringe dwellers, there's going to be prostitution amongst us people, they're going to be homeless, there's going to be more crime. The jails are full now, there's going to be more people in jail, and there's going to be more deaths in custody and more suicides. What for? Because this racist government here, all they see is money, or they're just a mob of blackfellas, kick them all out, kick them off the land, turn them loose around the town. And you know, we've been here for 60,000 years. Move on notices, you know, and 3 strikes and you're out. Nothing has changed since I was born in 1938. My father suffered, my mother. You know, they were Aboriginal people. They were jailed for nothing. So, you know, white Australia got a black history. And unless we get help from the international and the world knows the treatment of my people, it's not going to go away. They're going to kill us all out. They're doing it now.
They've chucked our people off enough land. The land is ours. Stop chucking our people off and stop wanting to go up into the communities and do this, because the people have a spiritual connection to these communities. Most of them have grown up there. Their fathers have grown up there, and their fathers, so on. Generations of family have come from these communities. You're taking away their spiritual beliefs and their culture when you take them off their land. You know what I mean? The children, take them into the cities. The children won't grow up with that spiritual, cultural needs that their ancestors grew up with.
And I believe that by coming here, we're pressing and saying we're here and we're still here. And you still need to come and talk to us. You will never fix up the Aboriginal issues and especially with Aboriginal people and non-Aboriginal people, until you talk to the people. If I have an issue with you, I will come and talk to you. I don't go make up all the rules and tell you that you can be a fringe dweller in this, live on the streets in Perth, because that's, when you don't talk to Aboriginal people or talk to anybody, that's what you create.
We're not violent people. We're just peaceful people. We want a piece of land that we're entitled to as First Nation people, where we were brought up as young men, women and children, and we must have something for us. We're not violent people. We're just peaceful people. We want a piece of land that we're entitled to as First Nation people, where we were brought up as young men, women and children, and we must have something for us. They took my community away. They didn't come in a rightful manner. They came 6 o'clock at night, smashed the community, had police for me, my two nephews, 10 or 8 cars parked in the bush, six or seven policemen on horses, and they was all waiting for us. And yet we was fighting for our community. We never done nothing, and they all just came out of the woodwork as soon as we landed there, when they knocked the community down. And that's when Tiny, who was a bloke who was working there, he said to me, the next stop is Wyndham. Now they're in Wyndham. The next community we don't know. That's why I say, as brothers and sisters, white and black, if you believe in what we are, who we are, stand with us, because it's come to the time, as Indigenous people, got to learn to stand up for our rights. And if we don't do that, we might as well go and get a rope, go to jail, and just be part of the deaths and custodies. Because every day what I see, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. And yet I stand on the roads, Annie, and I get sworn out, get a job. But at the end of the day, I said to you fellas, my job is to educate you. Educate you what you're doing wrong.
We would like the world to help us with the situation, because the killing of our oldest surviving culture is not to be tolerated by anybody.
The Aboriginal people will continue to fight to save their communities. I'm Chelsea Fruhwrith reporting for Undercurrent.